Hello again! Well, it's time to focus on my collection again. But first I wanted to share with you some of the reactions or the comments from viewers who had some more answers to the questions I talked about in last week's Q&A. And firstly, the flowers that I showed you, the ones that look like roses, they're actually from the rose family, and it was the hawthorn. And Noos 1E and our little organic life mentioned that they were from the hawthorn tree. And basically I knew that. I just because when I was cutting them, I thought, what are these again? Because I recognized the shape of the leaf and the very spiky thorns on them. And I have one in the back as well, which has white flowers. And that one seeded itself there just by itself. And I left it there. They can be a bit tricky because they have a disease, and which can also affect fruit trees, and the one in the back is amongst my fruit trees. So, oh well, I'll just let nature do its thing. I hope nothing will happen. But anyway, these came from the rose family and the hawthorn, and these were, of course, the very pretty dark pink double variety. So if you want to look for that, go ahead. And they grow really well in sort of moist soil, which I have. And well, I thought they were fantastic anyway. But thank you for the comments. It helped me to remember. So thank you for that. And the second comment or answer basically came from Itzke, and she wrote about the glue that we were talking about that could ruin your fabrics. And she said the Gutermann glue, fabric glue, is really good. And she wrote, I found that it does not stain, does not come through the fabric, and holds up for about 5 years now. So that's the Gutermann fabric glue. Actually, I'll show it to you because I have it. It's just something I keep it in my regular sewing stash, so not with my miniatures. So I never think about that one. But I'll go get it. I'll show it to you. There we are. That's the Gutermann textile glue. It says here it's solvent free. Well, that must be a plus. And it glues many types of textiles such as cotton, denim, linen, felt, and many others. Solvent free. Yeah, I should use that more often. So that's the glue. And thank you, Itzke, for recommending that. We'll have to try it. And then Jojo's mum, Dorothy 2829, Dorothy, she said, daylight is damaging as well as dampness. Absolutely. Daylight is really bad for, well, fabrics and paints, and also wood will, you know, if you leave your furniture out in the sun or partially in the sun, one part will bleach and the other side will be fine. So, yeah. And lastly, Dale Kendall said, I would also like to add that the temporary wax and tack we use to hold miniatures in place can stain miniatures. I have seen very expensive pieces of furniture ruined because there's check marks on the top from oils. I don't use it at all, he says. Yeah. And he had a $500 handcrafted table someone gave me that had marks everywhere, and they had the wax. I couldn't get it off. It was a ruined table. Best, Dale. Well, Dale, yeah, I've had that too. And that brings me to the collection part of my video, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And I've shown you some of the beautiful pieces of furniture in my collection already, like the concertina table in my salon, and the beautiful tilt-top table in my dining room, and there's some other pieces. But there's one piece in particular which has a little story concerning these waxes, and I will show you that today. Now I'll go get it. There we are. It's the chest of drawers, and it's at the moment it lives here in the blue salon. And this is the piece I want to show you. This one. I'll take it out. I have to take all this off. Take that away. So here it is. It's a beautiful piece. Several years ago, a friend of mine died, and she had asked me to curate her collection of miniatures. She had quite a large collection and beautiful pieces. And so I did. It was a lot of work, but I think I got most of her pieces to a really, really good home. And I was allowed to pick out 2 pieces from her collection, and I chose one piece that was made by herself. She was a great needle pointer, very good, really nice pieces. So I picked one of those, and I picked a piece of furniture because I really like furniture, wooden furniture. And she had lots of pieces, and this one, it just, I don't know, it just, something just pulled me to it. I really liked it, but it was, the drawers were stuck, and there was a huge stain on here, and I have a video somewhere, so I'll look it up and I'll show it to you later. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter. I like it, so I'll pick this piece. And then I tried to clean it, and I did, and I must say, when I cleaned it, and I managed to clean it, as you can see, very well, because it was on the top here. You see the reflection of my light. But now that I'm looking, this is years ago that I cleaned it, and there was still like a shadow of a stain left, but I thought I did pretty well. And now that I'm looking at it, and it's years later, to be honest, I don't see it anymore. I don't see the stain. Sorry about the reflection. But it looks fantastic. So that's really good. But the thing was, so I was cleaning it and looking at it in detail, and all of a sudden I saw this little mark, and it had some initials in there. But anyway, the initials are those of Barry Hipwell. And Barry Hipwell was a fabulous miniaturist who did exquisite inlay work. And he was one of the first people I took a class with, one of the first people. Jens was one, Jens Torp, but also Barry Hipwell. And I did some inlay, the hearth screen. I can't remember what year that was, but yeah, he taught us to do some inlay. The lighting in that space was really, really bad, so I couldn't really see what I was doing very well. But anyway, and he mentioned the Castine, the guild school, and I had heard of it, but I didn't know much about it. And anyway, I couldn't afford to go there. But he asked me if I was interested in going as a scholarship student, which of course I was. So he wrote a recommendation for me, and which was fantastic. And eventually, I did go as a scholarship student to the Guch School in Castine, which I'm forever grateful for. I think it's fantastic, and I learned so much that time. And of course, now I'm in the organization of a similar school in Europe, which is in Denmark. You've heard me talk about this before. It's Miniature in June. But anyway, back to the chest of drawers. So I got the stain off, found out it was a Barry Hipwell piece, which I was already thrilled about. And then I was trying to get the drawers to open, and I was, I was thinking of putting like a palette knife in between, and I was fiddling with the the keys on the drawers, and all of a sudden I heard click, and it turned out they weren't stuck, but they were locked. These drawers actually have working locks, all of them. There we go. Can you see that? And if you're really quiet, you can actually hear it. So yeah, they actually lock, all of them. All of the drawers lock. So I was just amazed by that. I had no idea. And but yeah, lovely surprise. So yeah, all of these, because it belonged to my friend, and I'll hear this one. Really, you can really hear this one. I love that. I try not to do it too often because of course, it's probably really fragile, so I don't really want to do it too often, but they all do. There we go. And of course, when you close it and you lock it, now it's locked. Then you open it, and there. So, of course, there's some dovetails. They're quite big, but they're still very, very nice. Nicely made. So, yeah, it's a very special piece for me. And it is a very special piece, even without that story attached for me. It's still an incredibly special piece because, of course, it was made by Barry Hipwell, one of the great miniaturists. So here's a photo of the stain that was on top of the chest. And at first I thought it was the French lacquer that had dried up and somehow got damaged. But then later, of course, I understood it was dried in wax or some sort of stuff that holds it down. And I managed to clean it off, most of it anyway, and it was very smooth. I can't remember what I used to clean it, but it worked. And here's a little video I did for Instagram back in, well, this was all in 2019 when I cleaned it and when I discovered that it was in fact a Barry Hipwell chest of drawers. So yeah, that's one of my most treasured pieces in my collection. I'll put it back. Just love these oranges. I bought those at the German fair last year. Christina Hampe. Anyway, the other one I wanted to show you is over there. Another piece of furniture. I'll just remove all the stuff that's on there. And I'll show you that as well. There. It's another chest of drawers. And again, it came from my friend Ellie's collection. This one I did have to buy. Not that I mind, I bought it. Again, I really liked it. Yeah, another inlaid piece and another chest of drawers. Flowers, totally different style from the previous one. This has more of a Rococo 18th century style with the curved front and sides, and yeah, drawers again. This pin came off, but it's inside the drawer. Also, it's right there. I have to fix it. Really like this piece. Actually, my friend has a very similar piece by Chris, and I always liked it. Yeah. But yeah, so here at the bottom has the stamp and a little mark. Yeah, I also really like this piece, and it has some metal banding around it. Yeah, really like this piece as well. So this is, again, one of a favorite. I have so many favorites. Yeah, yeah. Like I said last time, how can you choose? I cannot choose. I just, it's the shape, I think. It has such a pleasing shape, and I love the curved sides. Yeah, so Chris Malcolmson, I love that piece. And it's the only bigger piece I have of it. Oh no, I have a chest table by him. And some smaller pieces. And that one, yeah, love it. And she had a lot of pieces by Chris Malcolmson. Of course, I couldn't buy everything. So the other ones have all been sold, but to other people. And this one came home to me. And there's another piece, also came from Ellie's collection. And this was made by a Dutch maker. And it was made especially for her because it has her initials in it. And she embroidered the parrot on there. I don't know if there's a significance with the parrot or whether she just liked it. She didn't have any parrots. She had a lot of cats. Well, not a lot, but I mean, she always had cats. So, yeah. Johan Ulfman was the maker of this piece, the fire screen. Yeah. And he also did a lot of inlay. He was quite well known. And as I mentioned, Ellie had a lot of cats, and a lot of her pieces have broken legs, or because the cats knocked things out of the doll's house. So that's been glued. I will have to fix that. Get that bit of glue off there. But one of those things that, they need doing. And I'll get to them eventually. Now the other thing, piece I wanted to show you is this one. And somehow I think I've showed it to you before, but it may have been on my blog years ago. but I'm not sure. This is a piece by Mark Guch. There's his signature. And he's an English maker who I absolutely, his work is, I love his work. He's so good. But he's not making a lot anymore. I've had this for many years, and there's another story attached to this one. My son was quite young, and he was playing with his friend, and it was in the living room. Oh, I think I may have told you this not too long ago. It was in the living room, on top of a chest of drawers in the living room to keep it safe. And my son was playing with a ball in the living room, and they know that's not allowed, but they did it anyway. And he said, yeah, but we'll keep the ball on the floor. Or he said that they were keeping the ball on the floor. Of course, it doesn't stay on the floor. So it went up, and it went and knocked this on the floor. And yeah, it was damaged. So there's a bit missing here. And this was open. And so this is the interior. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So this mirror is supposed to go up. And then it has a little stand back there. And it still kind of functions, but it's a little bit broken. So what I should really do is bring it back to well, it's a little bit broken. So it's a gentleman's chest with a dressing chest. And of course there's all these little compartments. And they open. Oh, that's hard. Just my fingers. It's even harder with a... Oh, there we go. Little compartments where you can put your... Well, you can put anything in there. But isn't that fantastic? That you can move that around. But anyway, that there's a little piece that broke off. But the funny, well, it's not so funny, but I wasn't laughing at the time. But it was kind of funny that my son said to his friend, who actually was the culprit. He was the one that got the ball up there. And I was really angry, and I didn't say anything. And my son said, oh, my mother's really angry because she's not saying anything. That means she's really angry. Yeah, that was true. But it was, it wasn't my son, the other kid, and he really wanted to go home after that incident. So, yeah, I took him home. Anyway, so that's years ago. I mean, my son's an adult now, so. But again, beautifully made. Actually, this one is one of the most beautifully made pieces that I have. Tiny dovetails, tiny ones. I mean, look at that. Can you see that? Is that in focus? I think it is. And then there's these, the bottom pieces are all in place exactly like they're made in full scale. And there's dust. What is that called? So if you drop it in, the air goes out on the other side, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it's a beautiful piece. And yeah, there's the key. Now these, locks don't actually lock. I don't think they do. Do they? Oh my goodness. Do they? No. They don't lock, do they? No. Why is there a key? Does it lock? Maybe the top one. Oh, hold on. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. Or I forgot. That's possible. Oh, that's going to be so fiddly. No, I don't think that locks. Although it does look like it has a... See that? I'll have to do that off camera because I can't see it very well, what's going on there. But anyway, there is a key. Now, I must say I have a chest, a real one, full-scale chest of drawers. And that one also has the same graduating drawers. And it also has only one key. So if you want to open the other drawers, you have to take the key out and put it in the next one. So maybe that's why it only has one key. I don't know. I don't think it will lock though. I'll put that in there, so I don't lose it. There. So, yeah, Mark Guch, beautiful piece, slight damage because it fell. And yeah. Kids, keep them away from the doll's house. Now, the last piece I wanted to show you today is this cabinet. And it's a Dutch cabinet. It was made by Hubert Boom. Boom is spelled B-O-O-M, like boom. And boom means tree in Dutch, which I always thought was very funny because he's a carpenter and also a miniaturist. But he works in wood, of course. And he made this one. It's made of oak, and which I liked because I bought this piece because I loved it. But again, there's a kind of funny story attached to it. But I bought it because my grandparents had this cabinet, full scale. And it's just exactly the same. Yeah, so I really love it. Hubert was sitting next to me in a class. I think it was Chris Malcolm's. Yeah, it was Chris Malcolmson's class in Arnhem. Right before the fair, they do these classes. Well, you know this everywhere. All fairs usually have classes before. And this was Chris Malcolmson's class, and he was sitting next to me. And he mentioned that he made furniture, and this was the second day or something. We were talking about making things, and he said, "Yeah, I do a little bit of work." And I said, "Do you have any pictures?" I think he actually brought these with him, or this one, I can't remember. And he showed it to me, and I was just completely blown away. Absolutely fantastic. And I said, "Why on earth are you taking this class?" Because, he's so good. And he said something like he wanted to, because he wasn't an experienced miniaturist, he was new to the miniature field, and he just wanted to see if he was, what it was like and whether he was doing it right, basically. Something like that. Well, he was certainly doing it right. He makes fantastic miniatures, and he makes them the way they're supposed to. So the top comes off. Can I get it off? Usually it comes off really quickly. There. Like the real piece, I have a cabinet like that as well, an 18th century cabinet. And the top and the bottom always, they're always separate. So they come apart you put them back on. So they're very easy to transport as well. There. And like I said, this one is just exactly like my grandparents' one. And I had some really good memories because it was always in the guest bedroom. And we weren't supposed to go in there, but I always did. Now this one's empty, but it was meant for linens. So your table linens, and in the 18th century and the 17th century as well, linens were very expensive. So if you had a cabinet full of linen, and they would show it off. I mean, it was not somewhere in the back. And you can tell by the expensive cabinets they used for it that this was, just kind of showing off your wealth, basically. And they are, they're all like that. Basically, they all have two shelves in the middle, and then two drawers, or three. Mine has three, but this is usually what and sometimes they have secret compartments in there, and which is really fun. Now this one has been converted, not by me, but by Hubert, to hold some cutlery, which I really like. And there is some silver cutlery in there. Yeah. I'll have to take that out, put it somewhere else. I think I used it for a Christmas display once, and that's why the silver cutlery is in there. So, yeah. And then, of course, the drawers. The bottom has 3 drawers, and that's also very common. Oh, there's something in there. There's linen in there. Oh, and this, I didn't know that was in there. That little, I made that. Did I make that, or? I don't know if I made that. No, I don't think I made it. No, I didn't make it. When I was in Gastine, they did the seminars. That was Mark Murphy, and together with Mary Grady O'Brien, and she does fine miniature painting, and they taught us how to paint like a little bit of an aged effect, and we did that on these. So I probably did the painting, but not the box. But of course, they're not that hard to make. I should do that little class someday, making boxes. But anyway, I've always really liked that box. Yeah, so that was in there. Let's see if there's... And this... No, that's empty. And this cabinet will go in next to the bedroom in my second canal house. There's going to be a bathroom and like a corridor, hallway, and stairs to the next floor, and that's where I have a space for it. You'll be able to see it, and of course it will be filled with all kinds of linen. Yeah, but it's beautifully made, and like I said, exactly, even the hardware is exactly like the one that my grandparents had. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of my furniture. I think these are some of the best pieces I have, apart from the ones I showed you last episodes, the tables and the 2 tables mostly. But anyway, so thank you for watching. Until next time.